We're glad you're here. I'll say that again. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to FYI Friday. We are so happy that you are here today. Happy belated Juneteenth to everyone. And a special shout out to Justin Torres, who made our slides today for these awesome slides. Please introduce yourself in the chat with your name, your pronouns, and your organization. And the question for today is, who's your favorite artist? Shout out to your favorite artist. And I will take a peek over here at the chat. So this question is very open and very broad. There are so many artists, both like visual artists and musical artists that I could name. I think one of my favorites is Erykah Badu. I think she's just a phenomenal artist, and I have loved her ever since I was like a kid, and I think that she's great. And in terms of a visual artist, there's just so many to name. Wildly is an artist that I've been fortunate to see his art at the Portland Art Museum and in Washington, D.C. I think he is just brilliant. Um, so let me just check over to the chat. Good morning, Cassandra. Cassandra's favorite artist is Chris Brown. Carrie with Josephine County Farm Collective loves Mary Engelbrett. Good morning, Otto Lee. Welcome. Christine loves Mark Ryden. Kat with Haymarket Poe Collective, also another Erykah Badu fan. Child with Rockwood RDC, CDC shares LMI and SZA. Love SZA. Halimo says hi from Ico. I see Aaron with Ashland Climate Collaborative loves Beyonce. Oh, Dolly is not here today, but she would love that shout out, Aaron. Craig with Youth Line at Lines for Life loves Missy Higgins. She's a musical artist. Jody says so many artists, but Keith Haring, Jacob Lawrence, and Bisa Butler, some of her top three. I love Keith Haring's art as well. Good morning, Dr. Sandra. Dr. Sandra says that she really loves a lot of artists from Brazil, including, oh, I'm going to try this, Chico Buarque de Holanda,
Chico
Maria.
Buarque de Holanda.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dr.
De
Sandra.
Holanda, Maria Bethânia, Caetano Veloso.
I
But he
appreciate
also,
it.
I used to love, oh my gosh, I forgot his name. He already died, but is still very important. The rapper, oh my gosh. Como é o nome daquele... Yes, Tupac. Yes, thank you, Erin.
Yeah. Oh, I know R.I.P. Tupac. Prolific rapper. Um, Thank you, Dr. Sandra, for sharing those. I'm gonna pop over. The chat is just blowing up. I kind of lost my place. Here we go. Diane from Corvallis Environmental Center loves Lorena McKinnett. And Riley from Community for Positive Aging, not number one all-time favorite, but loves the comedian Okatsuka. I'm so sorry if I butchered that. Alejandro from Datas loves Wasili Kandinsky. And Aaron does a Tupac shout out. And I'll just do these last two here. Taylor, favorite artist, is their extremely talented wife, Ren. But for a more well-known option, they share Thomas Kalnotsky of the band Catch 22, Streetlight Manifesto, and Bandits of the Acoustic Revolution. Nice. And then Olivia from Community Outreach, I'm sorry, from Age Plus loves Tank and the Bangas. Oh, I love them too. Excellent poets and musicians from NOLA. Yeah, they're great. I hope they make it out here one day. Well, welcome everyone. We appreciate that you're here. Please feel free to continue sharing your favorite artists in the chat. I feel like it gives folks a chance to discover new artists that they may have never heard of before and just engage with a different type of art. So it's really fun to share. So please continue to share if you can. We can go on to the next slide, please. So, our agenda today, we'll have some manager and fiscal updates, and then we'll have our guests from OHSU come to share some updates about activity reporting, and then we'll end with some events and shout outs. All right, next slide, please. All right. Hey, I didn't even introduce myself, but I'm Josilia, one of the community engagement coordinator, excuse me, one of the managers on the team now, former community engagement coordinator. And we have quite a few manager updates for you today. The first one is to watch your inboxes. We are heading into reporting season. Your quarter 13 report will be due next month. And so watch your inboxes for any information about activities and expenditures that you'll be submitting soon. This will cover your expenditures from April through June. We won't be meeting. We won't have an FYI Friday on July 4th due to the holiday. So I'm just kind of giving an early shout out to like watch your dashboard and watch your inboxes for more information about reporting that will be due at the end of July. Next, a few of you have reached out to your community engagement coordinators wondering about your extension plan, work plans, and budgets. Like, is it good? Are we good? So I want to say that we will begin reviewing those this coming week. And so your CEC will reach out to you if they have any questions or any corrections, and they'll also let you know if everything is all good. It's a lot of y'all. So the process to review those is going to take a little bit of time, but you will hear back from your CECs once that process is done, if they need any more information from you, or if you're all good to go.
Justilia, can I add really quick? Hi, everyone. This is Leanne and Dr.
Mm.
Sandra. Sorry, I will let you go. Um, but I just wanted to add that this shouldn't stop you from continuing your work. So please don't feel like you have to wait for us to continue your work or to start your work. Just keep doing what you're doing. And as usual, if we have clarifications or just want to chat about something that you've written down, then we'll have that conversation. But I know July 1st is coming up, which is the start of the extension. And so I just want to make sure you all know that you can continue to do what you're doing. You don't have to wait for us. So please keep doing your work.
Thank you so much, Leanne. Absolutely. Dr. Sandra, go
Virginia, it's
for
just
it.
a quick question to
Mhm.
understand. When I saw last fiscal Friday, June 27, it's just to call our attention that last of the month or before we end this cycle. It's not that we are stopping the fiscal Friday, or is it?
So, yeah, I'll explain a little bit more. Great question. So, Fiscal Friday, this has been a space that Fiscal Friday happens on the second and fourth Friday of the month at 9 a.m. And this has been a group that started from COVID times. And it was a space where funded community partners for COVID support work would come together and get updates, receive updates, and really just work through any fiscal related issues. Um, so since 2020, this space has been going. The community that continues to join in that space love that space. They didn't want to change the name. So even though we're not talking about fiscal related things anymore, it has become like a beloved space where community members come together. It's a place of connection, learning, laughter, and healing. And we are retiring the Fiscal Friday space due to just honestly focusing on the upcoming RFGA. It was a really tough decision because we know how much people love Fiscal Friday and love that space. But we do have a lot of other spaces where community can join and connect. And there are folks from that space that attend often that are organizing like a bit of a Fiscal Friday on their own. And I don't know if anybody is here today that can speak to that or wants to give a special shout out about that space. I don't know if it's fully formed yet or if it's just like an idea going on in emails, but I do know that folks that attend Fiscal Friday regularly still want a chance to just connect and be connected and stay connected. And so, if there's anybody that knows about that, please feel free to speak up. But we are kind of sunsetting Fiscal Friday for now so that we can shift staff support to preparing for this brand new RFGA, of which opens next month. Fingers crossed, opens next month. Everyone that is interested in that grant and the Public Health Equity Grant is encouraged to apply because after the extension, this will be done. So the grant will open up next month. And there's information on info sessions you can sign up for that has been shared. I asked anybody in my team, I think Jody might have the most current link to those info sessions that can drop it in the chat if you haven't seen that already. But I will pause there. That was a lot of information. Does anybody have any questions?
So I
That
just
is
want to shout out for the Fiscal Friday that is ending next week. Um, because it has been really a quite important space for since we got together for these few years. Gosh, I think was an amazing idea. And I just want to say, Josilia, and for the record, that maybe in the future you need again, then we might have again. Who knows, right? For some reasons, but I understand. But I want also to give lots of celebration for that what we had. That's all. And we have lots of colleagues here. I see Mercy. I see Erin. I don't know who else.
Dr. Sandra, thank you so much for sharing those words. You're right. Like it has become such a special space. And like I shared at the last Fiscal Friday, I was like, this ain't nothing but a Zoom link. Y'all make the magic happen in here, you know? And so, yeah, just because OHA is not hosting it formally doesn't mean that you all cannot continue to get together and connect and share and keep that space going. Okay. Well, we can go on to the next slide. Thank you so much, Leon, for dropping the information in the chat.
Hey everyone, happy Friday. Zach Owens, he, him pronouns, resident fiscal dude supporting these efforts. Um, my update, one word, amendments. That is what we are really busy with right now. The extension amendments, just so everyone knows, I would say about three-quarters of them maybe have gone out. So um, if you haven't received your amendment yet, keep an eye out. The amendments come from Tammy Hurst with our Office of Contracts and Procurements. Um, I know lots of folks have gotten them. We've already gotten a ton back. Thank you for that. Lots and lots of very responsive and attentive folks. But yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, please watch for it. Please return it as quickly as possible. This is the grant agreement amendment extending agreements through December and adding funds. And the reason that this is very important is because we will not be able to issue the July payment until those amendments are fully signed and executed. So that's why the responsiveness is much appreciated. So again, watch your email inbox, Tammy Hurst. Thank you.
Thank you, Fiscal Dude. We appreciate it. Okay. I love seeing faces. Hello, Mercy. Hey, Riley. Hey, Carrie. It's good to see your faces today on my screen. All right, we're going to roll on to the next. Our special guest. I see some of them are here. So I would love to introduce our friends from OHSU. Today, we have Alex, Gina, and Chelsea. This has been the group that has been looking at all of your activity report data and really trying to tease out some themes and some things. And they have been really excited just to take all of the data and come back out with reports and things to share back with you all. So, what as you know, as we get to the end of this grant period, OHSU, because they have been really in the weeds of looking at all of this data, looking at all of these things, they've joined today to just pretty much ask you questions. And Alex, jump in if I've gone off base, but just to kind of talk about the process maybe and talk about questions that could be modified or improved for next time. So they're here to pretty much help us get better at what we do and to strengthen this for our team and for you all. So with that, I welcome Alex, Gina, and Chelsea. And if you need to share slides, please go for it. The floor is yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We are so excited to be back here with you all. Yeah, you were spot on with your intro. And some of you might remember that a few months ago, we came and shared some of the findings from our first round of analysis from the activity reporting with you all. And I just want to bring it back up so you can see what we did previously and before we jump into this next biennium and thinking about future reporting. Share. So if you can see my screen, perfect, great. So just a high level, this was some of the products that we were able to come up with, we developed for OHA, and sharing back the amazing work that you all do, that you provide through the activity reporting. So things like looking at, where folks are working, what populations were served through the work, the various languages that you conduct work in, and then also looking at funding stream specific areas, right? And so what types of events you held, what types of partners you had, all of those pieces, as well as some really fun, deep dives into other information that you provided. Oh, it's not gonna, there we go. And looking at, a little more of that storytelling aspect. So that's what we did last time. And as Jacilia mentioned, we're working with OHA to look at the questions that are asked and the reporting process and think about ways that we can improve it so that OHA is able to answer the questions that, the legislature and other invested parties have about this funding mechanism, and then also to really accurately depict the work that you all are doing. I'm looking because my internet's been in and out, and the internet people said they would be here right now. So if they knock, I will have to go and jump and let Gina take over. So apologies for that. But really looking at the activity reporting questionnaire, and as a reminder, there are other aspects from this funding mechanism that are looking at impact. And so some of that storytelling, you might have participated in a ripple effects mapping. So this is really just the activity reporting that you complete every few months. And as we think about what the next biennium looks like in reporting, one of the big questions that we have for you all is what is meaningful about the work that you've done with this funding that you want to make sure is highlighted? Um, so what were you didn't you not get a chance to share? And really, we just for this time frame, right now that we have right now, if you feel comfortable putting things in the chat or if you want to unmute, we would love to hear from you about what you wanted to say about your work that you didn't get to. And we have other questions, but I'm gonna like sit with the silence of an online meeting. Well, one thing we loved was reading about um, the work that you've done in pulling out those stories. Um, but for funding and for reporting, a lot of what is being asked is around those more quantitative measures. So languages spoken, populations that are served, those types of things. I'm wondering if there are other areas that you all think are important to be able to, mention and reference that aren't captured by the current questions.
Sandra, excuse me, are you asking for feedback now, or are
Yes.
you going to send an
Yeah, I
email
would love
to
feedback now.
now?
Yeah,
Um,
now that we have all of you here in the room together, it's a nice opportunity for, I think, crowdsourcing, is really how we were hoping this would go.
I could say when we think, not many of us are on the with the Lab project. However, since everything was better uh, open up in different sub questions that we should answer, that helped a lot for us to even follow up. Oh, what should be looking when we are doing the work? Because there is a so new kind of a way of doing things, regarding to the well water in especially specific now, né, Eastern Oregon. I can say that that helped a lot when you all work that, new opening new questions for us. And the other ones, I remember that when we were the other day in one of those meetings, somebody was saying for tobacco prevention, for climate change, and others, I think are similar. Would be good to have a little bit more space for few other partners because not always we have more partners, but some trimesters, like quarters, we might have few more, and we want to still inform. So I have been using myself, for our reports at the first two main questions when we want to say something else, and which is great already. So we do have some space to say something else. But thank you. I think these are the main things, but quite important. Really good those activity reports. At the beginning, who doesn't have done, but oh my gosh, all of this. But when you get used to, it's really good and help you. Thank you.
Thank you. So it sounds like actually breaking up the questions into even smaller components is helpful, although it is a lot of work. Um,
Yeah, that's what I want to say, Gina. Exactly. So you capture the idea. So it is more work, but also, on the other hand, help us to make sure we are thinking about everything we are doing, because depend of the contract or the way is we designed our project, right, is different each other's. So what can we really make sure we are? Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting about the event or things like this, and they could be so important for a smaller group of the community, but they are.
yeah, that's helpful to hear because I think a lot of times as evaluators, we are maybe sometimes even too careful because we're like, well, we don't want to overburden folks when they're answering the reporting. But in sometimes the specificity might actually remove some of the burden, so you know exactly what you're answering. Um, I also see in the chat, just want to share this with the group in case others would like to discuss or echo any of these thoughts. Um, Carrie shared a couple things that, there are a couple populations that weren't listed that we serve, but we listed them under other, which is something that in our analysis we also noted. And 50% of our demographic is low income seniors and migrant farm workers. Um, that's really helpful, specific feedback. Thank you, Carrie. And then around events, which is also a question we've thought a lot about. When listing each event reported, it might be helpful to answer what would have made it better or what would you need to make it better. That's an excellent suggestion, and would welcome any other thoughts around the events questions since it's our understanding as outsiders that a lot of your actual work takes place through what um, what surfaces as like events through this reporting. Um, Evelyn.
Oh, good morning. I'm sorry. I went to do the chat and then ended the Zoom link. Whoa, what's going on here? Anyway, um, it's really helpful when community members, we're able to, as a community-based organization, if we could share photos, it really helps tell the story because all of us have been doing this work collaboratively, some of us for 5 years together. And it really, really helps a place to drop in a photo or to drop in, you know, what we're actually doing. A picture is worth 1,000 words. So the pictures can tell so much more than we could ever say on a smart sheet.
Thank you. And we loved seeing your photos and would encourage everyone to share more. It does help put it helps put an immediate story to all the quantitative information you're sharing. Um, so thank you for sharing that, and I'm seeing a lot of support for that in the chat as well.
And
And
currently, I would just say currently you can add those photos in at the end with the supplemental documents if you put them in like a joint PDF or something. That's where we are currently sourcing those photos and little, I don't know, more creative space for you to upload things.
Would you repeat that again? Where can we upload them?
At the end of the activity reporting, there should be a field for you to just upload any supplemental documents that you have. And if you have trouble with that, please reach out to Jusilia.
Yeah, your CEC. So if they're right, like at the very end of your activity report form, there's a place where you can upload anything you'd like, whether that be flyers from your events or pictures. And so if you all have been doing that, like we've been seeing that, and oftentimes we go to what you've sent us, and when we're sharing about this work and sharing about the amazing work you're doing in community, we're using pictures that you've shared. So Miss Evelyn, if you would like to just on your July reporting, share photos, even if they are from if you want to share photos from April to June for events that you've had, you can upload them through your activity report data form. But if you want to share other photos, just generally things that you're very proud of the work that you've done, and you can also send that to your CEC just so that we have them, or you can just include them in your report as well, and just say some of these photos are from X, Y, or Z. But we'd love to see them.
You know what it says? Would you like to share an event flyer? So that's all our organization has
Oh.
ever uploaded. So I don't want to give information that you don't want. So the wording says event flyer. It doesn't says, photos, blah, 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 blah. So we can change the language a little.
Got you.
Mhm.
Oh, thank you for that flag. We appreciate that. Did not realize that. So we can definitely update the language for the next next round. But please, Miss Evelyn, we'd love to see your photos. Please do share.
I'm seeing a little bit in the chat around also an opportunity to call out more testimonials. Um, and um, and it looks like, let's see. Um, and I think that's like an interesting idea to think about. Not just pairing the testimonials with qualitative information, but also quantitative, as that can help OHA make a really strong case for the type of work that you're doing. Um, Mercy, I see your hand raised.
Good morning, everyone. I think when you speak of population, for us here, we serve African immigrant, but because we have been receiving a lot of different people at our events, and so we always add, we don't turn anyone away from our services. And therefore, and we don't really ask people where you from and where you're not from. I'm really not used to that. But lately, it has helped me to create a template that people have to sign up and tell me where they come from, or which, demographic they come from, or what language you speak. That I haven't really asked. I just want to know where they come from first in the first place. So I really don't ask people for languages and stuff like that. So I always say that we don't turn people around. So when you go on my website, you will see that we're supposed to be serving West African, but you will see different other population, people from Arab, people from different places. I'm not going to tell them get away from here. They come to the event, they have to be there. So sometimes it's kind of tricky to answer that question, but it's kind of making me to get out of my bubble to ask people, fill out this form when you get here, where you come from, and all of that. So at least it helped me to understand. So I think it's a great question, but at the end of the day, too, not out of us news to asking people where you from, you know. So it's kind of helpful and it kind of like not helpful in some other ways. So that's why I always say we do not turn anyone around. But I think the pictures and everything will also help, which I think I do see the slide where we are allowed to upload pictures. I think sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. If I'm really late, I'm like, okay, let me just submit this thing and worry about the pictures later. So the questions are really helpful, but sometimes it's gonna trick you to answer.
Yeah, thank you, Mercy. Um, it sounds like even just posing, it can be tricky to navigate asking that question, despite it being nice to have the answer. And, ultimately your priority is serving your population, not understanding exactly where they came from. And so just balancing that in the work that you do. It sounds, I'm glad that you raised that because I think that's an important part of how thinking about like what kind of data is important to collect and when. Um, Dr. Sandra,
Wow. Mercy, hey, good to see you here. I just want to say what an important aspect you were talking. I want to shout out for what you just said regarding to people's origin, because that's not easy to really capture every time. Like we also work with I think I always say 18 different Latin American countries. And as you said, we also never turn down nobody. Everybody get there. We are going to offer, even though we are focused to the Latino community, as everybody knows, and some Black partners, depending on the event. But what I would like to say, it is hard also for them to write down. So we sometimes we take, a little bit of courage and ask them because sometimes they don't even write Spanish. Let alone their own language. Like people from Guatemala, for instance, we have different dialects. They don't write anything, are more like oral languages. But anyways, I think what you are asking, Mercy, yes, could work in certain events and is very good, as much as we could and people feel comfortable to share. Because, wow, what I think what we have learned for throughout these past few years has been amazing. Uh, and that's what I'm saying. It's hard to do the reports, right, Mercy? So many questions, but help us as well in terms of like you were asking for more. Look at this. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, both of you. Yeah, really helpful context for thinking too about what it looks like moving forward and um, how what OHA is asking impacts what you're asking as well. Um, so we didn't have a ton of time today, and this has been a really exciting and good starting point for us. We do so our goal with this is to not just hear about what's working and what you want, but also make changes to reflect that. Reflect your needs and wants and the realities of the work that you're doing and what OHA needs. And so as part of that, we're wordsmithing some of these questions. And we would love for some of you to join us in future meetings to delve into that a little bit more and make sure that what the recommendations that we're generating make sense for the realities of the work that you're doing. And so if you're interested, if you could just pop your name and email in the chat, that would be really helpful. Or if you don't get a chance to or don't feel comfortable doing it this way, you can email me. And I just put mine in the chat, just saying that you're interested. And once we have some folks and we're ready to like get into the nitty-gritty evaluation survey piece of it, that's really fun, we think. We would love that. So that's all we have because that's all the time we had, but we really appreciate it.
Alex, we appreciate y'all being here. You could go to 11:45 if you wanted to touch on any of the other comments in the chat.
Oh,
Because
well,
the only thing we have after this is just shouting out to some events. So
oh, cool.
yeah.
Well, I do have one. I wanted to probe a little bit on what Sarah put in the chat then with these last few minutes. You mentioned uploading work examples, et cetera, throughout the quarter. That's something we were curious about and we'll want to talk to you about is like how you're tracking your activities and these things throughout the time. And because you're only asked to report on it every 3 months, right? And that's not a lot of time, but it's a lot of time if you're doing some big work, right? And so how um, how are you feeling about like how are you personally tracking things? You mentioned wanting to upload things as you're going. Um, any other thoughts or perspectives on the that piece of it?
Are you asking me directly or just the group?
You or anybody else who has other comments related to that?
I would say that um, we have activity reporting that we do, and we try to make it so it's not repetitive for like staff tracking their programs, and then they report to me so that I can report to the, different funding sources and things like that. We're always looking for I don't know, efficient ways to do that. So we're not double working and um but even though we have that I have a weekly tracking report that people submit to me, and then I can filter that and use that to complete our tracking to the different funders. But I don't know, it's just always difficult to go back and search for just to think about every single thing and search. It just kind of feels a little overwhelming. So I would love to just be able to do it that week when I get the report and send it to a file, and it just sits there until, the end of the quarter when we submit the activity report. If that, I don't know if that's answering your question, but
Yeah, I mean, I love to think on a wish list scale, and if you're gonna try and think through a new way of doing things, that's helpful feedback to have. Go ahead, Daniel.
Uh, Hi, I just wanted to mention something that we do that, um, like it may not be standardized and there may not be like a place to upload, etc. But our CEC, our coordinator, has offered to be kind of like that buffer. So sometimes when we submit our quarterly reports, we missed some photos or we found one after the fact, or um, as we do events, we send them to our coordinator, and he's assured us that he can make sure that it can make it to the right place internally. But just a tip for everyone, like a form or an upload file or a location doesn't need to exist for it to like make it to the OHA team. I think that's really valuable that we have those coordinators to be those liaisons. And so that's what we do at our organization, is that we fill out the quarterly reports, we do what we can remember, but then sometimes we forget some things and we just send it through email. And sometimes when we just get like a really good picture, we're like, oh, we don't want to forget to include this in our activity report, so we're going to send it right now. But we all have those coordinators. So just a tip that like maybe have that conversation with your coordinator next time to see if they can help in the meantime before something else is figured out. But it's worked really well for us because it is 3 months is like it's in that gray zone area where like it is a lot of time when you're like doing the daily activities, but we're able to capture a lot of stuff. But just wanted to mention that as well.
Yeah, thank you. Any other last minute big picture hopes, dreams with this reporting that you want to make sure we know? Or big challenges that you have with it?
I have one question, if I may.
Yeah.
Um, instead of like uploading, can it be something like a drive folder or something where we just put stuff throughout the whole quarter? And then, I mean, does it have to be an actual upload? Can it be something like that, like a shared folder or something?
It's an interesting idea. Thank you for bringing that up. You know, I'm not sure what OHA's abilities and platform limitations are, but I think like that's a good consideration for us to think about as we're looking at future changes with the platform and ways of collecting data. That it doesn't have to be a thing form that you're putting things in. Sometimes a drag and drop is really ideal. Well, thank you all for your feedback. If you have other notes, you think of it, or as you're filling out your July reporting, you're like, man, this is very concrete feedback I have. Please let us know. We would love to hear it. And if you didn't get a chance to put your name and email in the chat, if you were interested in talking to us about more stuff, please do. I got to set time now.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you, OHSU team. Y'all have been tremendous partners in this, and we really appreciate you helping us to just really get better at what we do. Thank you to everybody that shared either in the chat or out loud, just ideas that you have and ways that you are managing your data. Like it was really cool to hear you share, Mercy, about the new data that you're collecting. And who knows, that could be something that you use for like future partnerships with other organizations because you see that. Oh, we see a large number of this population is coming to my events. Maybe in the future, I can partner with another organization that serves that community, too. And it was something that you did on your own. And thank you, Dr. Sandra and Sarah and everybody who shared out loud just ideas and ways that you approach this work. And Daniel, yes, anytime you need to get anything to us, your CECs, we've got amazing CECs, so they are your direct contact to us. So please email them anytime. Um, Jody is going to be sending a follow-up with these slides, and we'll include Alex's email address. So if you, again, like Alex said, if you're doing your activity report and you're just getting ideas on like, oh man, I want to give this feedback to OHA, please do email her. We'll include Alex's email in our follow-up. And thank you again, OHSU. All right, let's get into some events and shout out. Next slide, please. So the first one we have is a Woodland and Watersheds Festival that's happening in Wallowa County on the fairgrounds on June 27th from 10 to 3. Is there anybody from that's connected to this organization that would like to share more about this event happening later this month? Okay, hearing nothing, we can go on to the next one, which is a summer block party that's hosted by Community for Positive Aging. I know y'all are here today. That's happening on June 28th from 11 a.m. to 3. Is there anybody from Community for Positive Aging that would like to share a little bit more about this event?
Hey everybody, my name is Riley. So yeah, it's in Northeast Portland. Everybody is welcome. We are going to have music all day. We're going to have a bunch of different partners, like tabling and doing their outreach. All ages activities. And I wanted to say thank you, Justin and the OHA crew. You all donated some materials for a workshop I'll be doing that day, helping people put together a emergency preparedness supply pack. So thanks for the support. And yeah, again, everybody's welcome. It'll be a good time.
Thank you so much, Riley. I am pretty sure I popped over to that event last year and a time was had.
Yay.
Indeed. Lots of music, lots of community members and tables, vendors, ice cream.
Ice
It
cream.
was great.
Yeah,
Had
we're
to
gonna
eat
have
it
ice cream
fast.
again. Yeah. Everybody's was melting.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Riley, again. We can go to the next slide. Okay, the Chinese Friendship Association of Portland is hosting a World No Tobacco Day health fair. And this will be Monday, July 7th from 10 a.m. to 2. I'd love to leave room if anybody from Chinese Friendship Association is here that would like to share more about this event. It looks like they're going to have face painting, photo booth. They're partnering with the library, OHSU pathology department. A lot of partners will be there. That will be vendors will be there. So, all right. And Josephine County Farm Collective is hosting a Hunger Heroes. Um, and is there anybody here today from Josephine County Farm Collective that can share a little bit more good news? I'll
I would
go
like to
for
speak to
it.
that. I believe Carrie is in the room, but Carrie Ducal and the Josephine County Farm Collective was awarded the Hunger Hero Award, which was amazing. I'm super honored to get to work with Carrie. One of the first times we ever met, she mentioned taking food out to the people living in the salvage yards, and I swear to God, I cried. It just, the meeting people where they're at literally, and the people that are most underserved and most in need, that's what they do. Lots and lots of other stuff. But if Carrie has any words that she wants to say, I just am so honored to get to work with them.
Oh, thank you, Kayla. It was really an honor. The Hunger Heroes Award is an annual award presented by the Josephine County Food Bank, and we were nominated and elected for this award by the community. So, it was quite an honor to receive that, and so it was a special night celebrating after a lot of hard work. So, yeah, we just meet people where they're at with fresh, locally grown food. So, it's an honor to serve our community in that way.
Kudos, Carrie. That's incredible. What an honor. Are you holding, is that a chalkboard
Oh,
that
that's the award they gave us. It's a cutting board, but it's engraved. It says Hunger Heroes Award for um it was a group award, so they give an individual, a volunteer, and a group award. So our organization received one of those three awards.
well, I hope you hang that proudly.
We
And
will. Thank you.
congrats to you and your organization for a job well done. Adelie, I see your hand.
Yes, I raised my hand because we have an event that's coming up, but I don't know if it's discussed. Do we share that at the end or can I say that
Yeah,
right
go
now?
for it. Go for it.
So I am with Mercy Connection, and we have an event on July 12th that's coming up, and it's a resource fair. And we're also looking for people to table the event. So if anybody in here would like to table the event, it will be a Saturday, the 12th of July. You can, I'll put my information in the chat box. You can take my email or reach out to me if you're interested in tabling our resource fair on the 12th. We are working on the flyer right now. It's almost completed. So we can send it out to you guys so look forward to everybody else. That was what I wanted to share.
Thank you. That sounds like an awesome event. And when you have the flyer, please do share so that we can get that in the newsletter.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Angelica.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Just wanted to share. So my name is Angelica Pulido, and I'm with ICO, the African Youth and Community Organization. We have our annual graduation this Saturday, and since OHA helps fund our Uplift programming, I just wanted to share we have 50 graduates this year from our youth mentorship program. That's from high school and college. These are all immigrant and refugee youth, first and second generation, and it's our biggest our biggest graduation yet. So if anybody's in Portland, the event's from 2 to 5 at our Dream Center on 82nd Division, right across from PCC. You're welcome to join us. There will be all kinds of food. You guys already know us. You got to know that, right? But anyway, that's just what I wanted to share. So thank you and have a wonderful weekend as well.
Thank you, Angelica, and kudos to all your graduates. That's incredible. Incredible. Thank you for sharing. Please feel free to drop any information in the chat. Speaking of the chat, I'd love to head over there to ask Antonio if you would like to share anything about Cultural with the group, your event that's happening on Saturday. Please feel free.
Yes, thank you very much for the space and happy Friday, everyone. I wanted to share we do have our annual Noche Cultural event coming up on Saturday, July 19th at Island Park in Springfield, Oregon. Yeah, the event is from 4 to 10 p.m. and we're also inviting organizations that would like to table. The event is centered around music and dance, and but we have different organizations table and share about their services to our Spanish speaking community and there are activities for kids. There are a couple of food trucks selling food, and we close it, and there are different workshops, and we close with an open dance floor. So anybody that wants to share in the spirit of dancing can participate. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, I included the link to the event itself, but I'll also include my contact information. If anybody is interested in tabling, by all means, we welcome that. Thank you very much, and I hope everyone has a great weekend.
Thank you, Antonio. Man, that sounds like a good time. Any event that ends with boogieing on the dance floor is my kind of event. So thank you for sharing. Sarah, hi. Please share what's happening on in your neck of the woods.
Hello. I just wanted to share that we have our Saturdays in the Park series has started. I'm gonna drop the flyer there in the, oh, maybe it's not gonna drop. I'll figure that part out in a minute. But anyway, there it is. Nope. Okay. It's a wonderful event to bring communities together, to feel comfortable, to enjoy. We share the Latina culture through food, music, dance. Really excited. I'd love to come down and check out the Herencia Cultural, the Noche Cultural, down there in Springfield. So maybe we'll show up. That sounds really exciting and similar to what we do. The next event is on the 28th, and then we have a few others throughout the summer. But it's really just a way to bring our community together, have people create friendships across cultural differences and just makes our community stronger and a place where everybody can feel that they belong. So I will try to figure out how to get the flyer into the chat. Sorry about that.
And Sarah, if it doesn't work, feel free to just email it to me and I can get it to Jody for the follow-up. But those summers in the park are always so much fun. And it's glad they're happening. Dr. Sandra.
Oh, I already put in the chat, Josita, but thank you. I just want to say how important was for all of us because we have been planning for about 1 year this international conference that really happened last Saturday, despite of the national commotion on on so many protests and even nearby where we were at, but we could get, gather people from, I think, 7, 8 countries, different countries, and many counties in the state of Oregon and Southwest Washington as well. Was a beautiful event celebrating life through humanized birth as reproductive justice. So partners, with Latino, Black, and Native American groups and communities, everybody got together. And despite of everything, we had about 60 people plus gathering there. And wow, we heard so many good things that we have to say it was really special. I wish many of you could have come, but that was the first big, in person international that we are doing. And we also brought people from Colombia. It was like, wow, midwives from Colombia who has so much to share and we learned. And that's it. And we also having our second cohort, Doulas Latinas in Spanish and traditional indigenous culture and languages training, organizing already for the, some introductions, and the training should be sometime between July, August, and September. And in our conference, we also brought Washington County to present as a steady partner about congenital syphilis. It was quite good having this kind of a presentation in our conference too. Thank you.
Amazing work to you and your team. That conference sounds like incredible and definitely necessary. So kudos, kudos, kudos. Um, and Helica, I saw your hand was up, but I was thinking that it was just a carryover. So if you do have something that you wanted to add, please do just let me know. Popping over to the chat again, Carissa is with Access Care Anywhere. Carissa, would you like to share about your event happening in Clackamas County?
Oh, thank you, Jusilia. Oh, sorry, I accidentally muted. It's not my event, so I won't take credit for it, but there's two events actually, so we're splitting up the team. And the first one tomorrow is the Clackamas's first Clackamas County Developmental Disabilities Resource Fair. And I know some other organizations that are grantees will be there. So excited to see some familiar faces. And then the second event is the Juneteenth event being put on by Oregon City. And so that's from 2 to 5, I believe. So whatever your schedule looks like tomorrow, I'm pretty sure you guys can make time for one of those. So, but hopefully you guys can come say hi to us, or anybody can come out and enjoy your day.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Thank you so much, Carissa, and thank you for uplifting other events that are happening in the community as well. Those both sound like great events. I know we're at time, so if folks have to hop, please, do what you need to do. I saw that Alejandro, you dropped in the chat an event and you came on camera, so I didn't know if you wanted to share a little bit more about that before we wrap.
Sí, gracias por la oportunidad. El lunes 23 de 5:30 a 7:30 tendremos un evento sobre sífilis y sífilis congénita, y es de hacer notar que en Oregón Con respecto al 2014, en el 2024 hubo un aumento de más del 2000% de casos de sífilis congénita. Es lamentable porque es una enfermedad que se trata, se cura fácilmente con un antibiótico que es muy económico y desafortunadamente, como siempre, pues nuevamente las comunidades afroamericanas, indígenas y de latinas son las más afectadas y sobre todo aquellas que enfrentan y ven, consumen sustancias y carecen de atención prenatal adecuada y además influida por la interacción con el sistema judicial. Así que todos están invitados para este evento el próximo lunes 23 de 5:30 a 7:30. Gracias.
Gracias, Alejandro. All right. Thank you again, everyone, for today. Again, we won't have FYI Friday, July 4th. Our last fiscal Friday will be next Friday at 9 a.m. So please join if you would like to be there and be in that space. And a lot of great events. We'll get this down and get these. I'll send out to you in the follow-up coming up probably sometime next week. So thank you all. Have a beautiful weekend. Again, happy Juneteenth, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Thank you.
Ciao, Josila and everyone. Gracias.
Bye.